When the Canadian Pacific let passengers off on the platform, those passenger trains would leave to run through a 1.5 kilometer long tunnel that would go from the rail yards along the station and look something like this, and run all the way over to False Creek for servicing, repairs, and being washed for the next departure later that day. And this tunnel would have you end up on the west side or the east side of False Creek, but the west side is essentially today's Yaletown Roundhouse. And when the final Canadian Pacific passenger train left these yards in 1978, later that year the city announced plans to remove all the industry and rail yards for Expo 86. Now, it's actually crazy to compare Yaletown in 1978 to today in 2025, how what was once an entire industrial area is almost completely unrecognizable with the skyline of apartments it holds today. But one of the two buildings that still remain is the Yaletown Roundhouse. And today that roundhouse has been transformed into a free public museum that features the same check-in counter that the Canadian used out of Waterfront Station, as well as steam locomotive 374, which was the locomotive to pull the first passenger train across Canada from Montreal in 1886. And although she would be considered a small locomotive by most standards, I'm a pretty big man, and I like tiny compared to this mammoth of a machine. If I'm being honest, I really wish that Canada did a better job to preserve and bring some of our old steam locomotives back to life like they've done doing such a great job down in the United States, because I've seen many sleeping steamers across Canada. I've ridden a couple and made videos on them so far this year, but what a shame it is that most of these are just museum pieces and not doing what they were built to do, pulling passengers to a new adventure or a new experience. But at least here at Yaletown, the museum is completely free and super easy to get here. Only 2 SkyTrain stops down the line from Waterfront Station, and that is the Canada Line too, if you're riding. This was a clip for a full-length show. If you want to watch the full episode of the clip you just saw, click right here, you get the full show, and they go up live every single Sunday. If you want more clips of what you just saw, click right here, you can see the next great hit.